Welcome back, champions. In today's video, we tackle one of Nietzsche's most controversial ideas, the intersection of violence and ambition through the lens of the will to power. You'll explore how Nietzsche's philosophy challenges conventional views on strength, dominance, and self-overcoming. We will confront uncomfortable questions, exploring whether Nietzsche's concepts inadvertently support violence or if they are a call for personal transformation and mastery. As we delve into the essence of Nietzsche's will to power, we must confront a question that stirs debate. Does Nietzsche's philosophy justify violence, or is it a path to self-mastery, transcending weakness? At the heart of Nietzsche's ideas lies the belief in the individual's quest for greatness, an internal drive toward dominance over the self and the external forces that limit us. But what happens when ambition transforms into violence? Can the will to power, a force of life itself, really lead to destruction? Or does it only shape a stronger, more resilient version of oneself? Nietzsche, the iconoclast, insists that we abandon the comfortable, the safe, the conformist path. In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Nietzsche speaks of the Overman, Übermensch, a being who rises above societal constraints, embodying power in its most authentic form. The will to power is not merely a desire for power over others. It is the relentless pursuit of self-mastery, growth, and the unyielding push to evolve into something greater. This drive, while unmistakably potent, can easily be misunderstood. Is it possible that Nietzsche's call to embrace power and control can be misinterpreted as an endorsement of violence? To understand this, we must first consider the will to power, not in terms of external dominance, but as an inner transformation. Nietzsche writes in Beyond Good and Evil that the most powerful individuals are those who do not need to prove their strength through violence, but exhibit mastery through their inner will. They conquer themselves. This is not a call for physical dominance, but for conquering one's base desires, fears, and weaknesses. Violence in this context is not external, but internal, the overcoming of all that holds us back. However, the line between ambition and violence is thin. Nietzsche's disdain for mediocrity and his rejection of societal norms can be interpreted as a radical invitation to break free from the shackles that bind us. But how does this play out in the real world? Does the pursuit of power, as Nietzsche describes, allow for ethical flexibility in the means one employs to achieve their goals? Nietzsche does not shy away from discussing the harsh realities of the human condition. In fact, he acknowledges that violence, destruction, and conflict are part of nature itself. To transcend humanity, one must accept and confront the animal within. Yet, does that mean violence is justified? Some researchers, like Walter Kaufmann, argue that Nietzsche's philosophy does not promote violence, but encourages a deeper kind of personal responsibility. According to Kaufmann, Nietzsche's work is a call for individuals to take control of their destinies, not to dominate others. The true meaning of the will to power is about shaping oneself into something more than what society expects, transforming weakness into strength, not through domination of others, but by mastering oneself. This can be seen in Nietzsche's emphasis on the eternal recurrence in The Gay Science, where one is asked to live life in such a way that one would choose to relive it over and over. The strength comes from the acceptance of life, not from its destruction. Yet, it is impossible to ignore the fact that Nietzsche's work has been co-opted by various ideologies throughout history to justify violence. The Nazis, in particular, manipulated Nietzsche's ideas to promote racial supremacy and war. Nietzsche's philosophy, however, is a far cry from these distorted uses of his ideas. His philosophy is one that seeks to empower the individual to transcend the herd mentality and cultivate a life of creation and meaning. In this sense, Nietzsche's views on violence are not an endorsement of destruction, but a cautionary tale about how power can be misused. This brings us to the crux of Nietzsche's philosophy: the individual's responsibility to harness their power and ambition constructively. The will to power is not a tool for domination, but a force for creation. To act with purpose and to achieve one's goals requires a mastery of self, not an urge to destroy others. Nietzsche urges us to embrace our darkest impulses, but only to channel them in ways that lead to self-overcoming and higher achievements. This philosophy challenges us to face our deepest fears, to confront the forces within that hold us back, and to emerge victorious. When we embrace Nietzsche's idea of the will to power, we confront the challenge of becoming more than we are. This does not mean tearing others down, but rising above the limitations that society, culture, and our own weaknesses impose on us. Our ambition is not a tool for violence, but for personal transformation. To act with purpose and power means we do so with the knowledge that true strength lies in self-discipline, in the ability to rise above the chaos and to shape our destiny. It is essential to remember that Nietzsche's concept of violence is not always external. In The Birth of Tragedy, Nietzsche speaks of the tension between the Apollonian and Dionysian forces within us, the rational and the chaotic. It is the tension between these forces that gives rise to creativity, the inner conflict that drives us to transcend mediocrity and rise to greatness. Violence, in this sense, becomes a metaphor for the internal struggle that we must endure to achieve our highest potential. True greatness is achieved through this struggle, not by destroying others, but by conquering ourselves. To understand Nietzsche's views on violence and ambition, we must first ask, what are we willing to sacrifice to rise above? What are we prepared to endure? The will to power is a path of constant growth, and it demands that we challenge our weaknesses, our fears, and our limitations. Violence, if it can be called that, is the internal battle we face on the path to becoming who we are meant to be. It is the fight against complacency, against weakness, and against all that holds us back from achieving greatness. As we reflect on Nietzsche's philosophy, let us remember that it is not the violent impulses that lead us to greatness, but our ability to rise above them. The true power comes from self-mastery, from harnessing the energy of our most intense emotions and channeling them into creative, transformative action. We are not here to dominate others, but to dominate ourselves, to rise above mediocrity, to become more than what we are. This is the essence of Nietzsche's will to power. If you feel the call to awaken your own potential and master your life, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you are actively choosing to engage with the content that fuels your transformation and growth. Explore our other videos to continue expanding your understanding of ancient wisdom and deepen your journey toward becoming the man you were always meant to be. Until next time, champions, stay strong and stay committed to your path.